Happy Friday! Happy Friday. Please come around quick. Today, I wanted to talk to you about beliefs. So, a belief is a thought that you have had so many times, it now just presents itself as a fact. So we have like 60,000 thoughts a day. Our brain is designed to think. It's designed to process and analyze and think about stuff. And because it's old, part of our brain is old and it's designed to keep us safe, it generally tells us the negative side of everything. Unless, of course, we're being very deliberate and very conscious about our thought process, which apparently most of us don't do. I read a statistic the other day that from a neuroscientist, Dr. Joe Dispenza, brilliant book, that 95% of our day is unconscious. And that kind of blows my mind. So if you consider that 95% of the time, you are just on autopilot. Like, you know that your brain's thinking, you know that you're doing actions, you know that you're, eating or drinking or talking to somebody. But most of our actions and most of our thought processes are completely unconscious. And then I heard this other statistic that was something like, I think it was like 80% of our thoughts are negative. And then 95% of those thoughts we thought yesterday. So we're repeating this negative pattern of thinking over and over again every day in our unconscious. But just because it's in our unconscious and we're not aware of it, it doesn't mean to say it's not affecting us. So when you consider that 95% of the time you're just floating along in your life, thinking that your life is just happening to you and that is just the way you are and that you have no control over it, actually that's not true. And it's not until we look at those thoughts and we look at those beliefs and we start to question, hang on a minute, is that right? Like, is that actually true for me? And if it's not true and if it's not right and you've never questioned it before, well then, let's question it. So it was really interesting. So for me, you've heard me say before that, I've had these thoughts that I'm not clever enough, that I'm not good enough, that, no one's going to listen. And I'm kind of aware of those thoughts now. So when they come, I could be like, yeah, I hear you, moving on. Like a cloud passes by in the sky. Like you can see the cloud, it comes, you can acknowledge it, and then you can let it move on through. A thought is just the same. Just because we have a sentence in our head, it doesn't mean to say we have to believe it. But so many of us are. So many of us believe our brains when it tells us, oh, you're not good enough to do that, or you're not clever enough to do that. But what was really interesting over the weekend is I've set a goal for my business for this year, and I was doing some work with my coach and imagining that result coming true and the excitement that I would feel when I reached it. And I was really resistant to feeling excited about reaching my goal. And I was kind of like, what is making me so resistant? Like, why don't I want to get excited about this? It's going to be amazing. Like, the pride I will feel about getting to my goal will be amazing. What am I worried about? The goal by the way, is to make £100,000 by the 20th of December. So I've said it out loud now. And why was I resisting getting excited? Because when I've made my £100,000, that's gonna be an awesome moment for me. Because of the person that I need to evolve into. Of course, the money would be nice. Money solves money problems, but money doesn't make us happy. Another belief. If you have lots of money, you'll be happy. It's not true. It's not true. So the reason I've set that goal is because of the person that I have to evolve from, through, and to become in order to do that. And so when I was visualizing my future self, like, for me, it's really this pride that I have been able to accomplish that sort of goal for myself. And I was questioning, like, what is this resistance? Why am I so resistant to feeling excited? And I was doing I was asking myself, like, what is causing the resistance? What is causing the resistance? And I realized I have this belief that I mustn't get excited because it might not happen. And kind of, you could say that's true. It might not happen by the 20th of December, but I know that I won't stop. So even if I don't reach it by the 20th of December, I will reach it at some point. So what's stopping me getting excited? And I realised it was because I have this belief that excitement will only end up in disappointment. If I get excited about that happening, I'm going to end up being disappointed. And it took a couple of days for me to realise that, you know, I had heard this sentence growing up, you know, oh, don't get too excited, it might not happen. And this then was that belief was then really holding me back now, because I don't want to get excited. But we have to get excited. We have to feel passionate. We have to realise the outcome and feel it now in order to get there. So it's not until we really uncover those ingrained beliefs, and it's really not until we question and look at, right, what sentences are coming up in my head, or going and finding those sentences, because I wasn't hearing that in my head. I had to go looking for it. And it wasn't until I was writing down, like, why am I resistant? Why am I resistant? I'm like, well, why can't I get excited? And all of a sudden it's like, well, I can't get excited because it might not happen. I can't get excited because it might not happen. That was a belief that I had in my head. And that belief, if I hadn't have uncovered it, would have held me back, because I wouldn't have been able to generate the emotion that I needed to generate in order for me to take the action that I needed to take. Because it's not our actions and our results that make us feel. It's the other way around. It's how we feel that makes us take action, that gives us our results. So this kind of got me thinking, like, what beliefs do you have? Or what beliefs don't you know you've got? Because I didn't know I had this one. And other beliefs like, it'll make me feel better. Like, if I have some chocolate, that'll make me feel better. You know, if someone's upset, God, let's have a pint, it'll make us feel better. And yes, in the moment, temporarily, it does make you feel better, but not in the long term. You know, oh, I'll buy a new dress, that'll make me feel better. Temporarily, you get a dopamine hit from that purchase, but have you noticed that it doesn't matter how much you buy, how much you drink, how much you eat, you don't actually feel better. So that belief of it'll make me feel better isn't true. That belief is not a fact. Another one I hear often is, I deserve it. It's been a long week, I deserve it. But would it not be truer to think, I deserve long-term well-being? I deserve not to have a hangover. I deserve to be the weight that I want to be. Like, and it's not until we question these beliefs and these thoughts, so a belief being a thought that we have had so often, it's now just completely appears as a fact. It's not until we question them and analyse them and think, how is that helping me in my life? Is it helping me? And if it is, brilliant. If you have a belief that fuels you, amazing, use it. But if you have a belief that's holding you back, we can work on wobbling that belief. And sometimes you don't even need to work on wobbling it. Sometimes all you need to do is go, I hear you. So like, I'll speak to my primal brain. I'll say to her, I hear you, Sue. You think we're not clever enough. Don't believe it anymore. Moving on. I hear you. You think we need the chocolate. It's a treat. I hear that. But it's not a treat to feel like crap in 10 minutes. So I kind of hope this has inspired you to maybe do a little bit of belief work for yourself. And all that takes is just watching your thoughts, listening to the sentences that appear in your head. It's really interesting. And just because you hear a thought and have a belief doesn't necessarily mean to say it's true. You get to decide. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you next Friday. Bye.